I joined you too much?
This is your 5th time today.
My 5th time?
What do you want from me?
I want every last single drop, molecule, and atom going out of them fucking testicle packs.
I just got the 2.
You're not gonna have none when I'm done with you. Shut the fuck up.
Hey, what's good, y'all? My name is Millennial Smark, and I'm bringing you the slop, the whole slop, and nothing but the slop. Timestamps are down in the description box below if you want to get directly into the Dynamite review. Otherwise, fuck with me for a moment. Honestly, I can't say that I'm not surprised, but at the same time, though, I'm beyond frustrated. Like, it's not even frustration anymore. This whole shit has been accelerated to just straight up ignoring, just blocking out the nonsense. Let whoever want to call you out, speak your mind, plug your ears, and just keep it on movement, man. These people are such fucking hypocrites. They're so inconsistent, and they're inconsistent and hypocritical about things that didn't have any reason to be reasoned with. So as you guys know, last Monday, Naomi had a promo battle with Io. I'm pretty sure Rhea Ripley was somewhere in the mix. But Io's guy started to speak. I don't know if she was speaking Japanese, or I believe she was speaking English, but it was broken English. And Naomi responded with, "I don't even know what you just said," or "I don't know what you just said," or some iteration of that, right? And once again, the internet lost their fucking minds. Now, you had some people in the minority where they were keeping it consistent. I think they're fucking retards. I think they're blowing shit completely out of proportion just to seem more virtuous. But if for anything else, I'll commend them on their consistency. No matter how retarded their consistency happens to be, it's still consistency nonetheless. Who I am going to condemn, though, are the people out there who are saying, "What's the big deal?" I've actually lost count of how many screenshots I was seeing from people, taken from other people, blowing the Carlito situation completely out of proportion a couple of months ago, when he essentially said the same thing about Kairi Sane and Io Sky backstage. Now, mind you, Kairi and Io did not give the slightest fuck. If anything, they took it as, oh, Carlito is just a fucking moron, right? As far as his character. They just took it as, oh, fans are just gonna look at him as comic relief. No, because we live in a day and age when people will purposely take things out of context if the ends justify the means of whatever narrative they're trying to purport, right? Well, Naomi did the same thing here, and there were so many people screenshot who went after Carlito, who decided to say, you guys are only going after Naomi because she's a black woman. Like, it's not even a minority argument anymore, you know what I mean? Because Carlito, theoretically, as far as his racial dynamics, is a minority, right? No? Am I wrong here? His racial dynamics, as far as looking at how things typically go within the woke area, he should be a minority no different than Naomi. But that's like a pyramid scheme to all this shit, man. There's levels to this shit. Like an oppression hierarchy or some shit. It's like these people are fucked in the head, man. And mind you, Naomi didn't do a fucking thing wrong. And I doubt that the people that was calling out Naomi for the most part thought that she did anything wrong. Like me, they just want to see the consistency. Okay, you was talking all that shit about Carlito, so okay, what's good with Naomi now? She ain't do shit wrong, but you specifically, how do you feel? And of course, on a dime, they swap it out. And then you got people who are so brazen. I've seen people in other comments saying shit like, we don't give a fuck. Y'all been racist to us for so long, we get to be racist right back. Mind you, this ain't coming from any white person that they talking to. Talking to another Asian community. Feel me? They're using the Asian community as a representation of actual racism, as a double standard for what's purportedly put on the person who was Hispanic. I'm gonna keep trying to tell y'all. I'm gonna keep laying it thick on y'all, man. This constant going back and forth as far as racial divide. What part do you guys not understand? This is just a tool for most people to level over your heads in order for them to move forward. It's all manipulative. It's all manipulative tactics in order for them to stand tall. They do not care about black people. They do not care about whatever goal they're trying to reach. They don't have a goal. They can't even explain their goal. What, 100% non-racial racial dynamics, 100% no one can never be racist. I don't know what that means, because black people are some of the most racist people in the world currently right now at the moment. At least for sure in the Western world, easily. Black people are by far the most racist people in the world. The only difference is that people are too afraid to step up and actually say it to their faces. You know, they're afraid that black people are most likely going to dig really, really deep in the past, pretend as if they themselves were victimized, and then say that because that was done to my ancestors, I get to do it to you, even though you didn't do anything to me, even though neither one of us can actually at least prove in real time that we were related to said ancestors. Because you never know. There are some white people who actually have black lineage, and there are some black people that have white lineage. There's no way to prove any of these things, but that's what I'm saying. None of it actually matters in the end of the day. None of it matters. It's all a grift. It's all a grift. They don't care. As long as they have their argument and they can make it, nothing matters in the end of the day. Call me Uncle Ruckus. Say that I'm a Uncle Tom, all that shit. Give a fuck, man. Those are just words in the end of the day from people that I don't know on the internet, who can't go up against my argument, so that's what they run to. It's all emotions in the end of the day. Makes it even worse when it comes from another black man. Because damn, he's saying the quiet part out loud. I know. But like I said, Dynamite review, let's get into it. Okay, so right now they're about to go into a match with Kyle Fletcher. Don't know what he's doing or what match he's about to partake in, nor do I really care, to be perfectly honest with you. But I do want to talk about the opener, right? And actually, let me save that for last, because we did have the Young Bucks. They're now being referred to as Matt and Nick, as they previously were, because obviously they lost their match against Swerve and Ospreay, so they're no longer the EVPs, right? My whole thing is, I don't... and I know what they're trying to do, and I get it, I appreciate it, but like, and I said this at the pay-per-view review also, I can't connect to whatever they're trying to put across. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't feel any relation to the characters enough to give even the slightest amount of shit to, like, okay, you're referred to as Matt and Nick again. I feel like that should be a big deal, right? Considering for like the past, year and a half or so, ever since they returned back, to Revolution last year or something like that. I can't remember when they returned necessarily. I think it was to Revolution, if I'm not mistaken, when they actually debut these new gimmicks, right? The whole point, building up to this match right here, you would think that it'd be such a big deal. That's my thing with AEW. It's that like this over-reliance on statistics, right? It's like the numbers in themselves matter more than the actual quality. That's AEW's, one of them, not the biggest, but one of their pet peeves, for me at least, is this constant reliance on talking about quantity. And the only thing they discuss in regards to quality is the in-ring stuff. Everything surrounding the in-ring stuff, as far as the quality or justifying the quality, always relies on the quantity, right? And mind you, the quantity in itself is absolutely all subsequently subjective. Damn, I had to fucking swallow my spit there for a minute. Like, none of this stuff really constitutes any actual legitimate progression going forward. They did the same thing also when they were running these vignette packages, right? pretty much highlighting all the events that were happening during the weekend. And I'll give them credit. I actually like the video package a lot. Very WWE-esque. And, you know, at least for me, I appreciate it, you know, them playing Machine Head by Bush and having all the stuff playing out. It looked very, very professional. Now, granted, you go to the actual show in itself, and that leaves a lot to be desired as far as the professionalism in multiple ways. But at the very least, how they highlighted this was very professional, and I liked it a lot. But again, throughout the entire video package, it's very, at least in my opinion, like, what would you say? Not inoffensive, but I guess you could say that. But I guess like nothing of what you're actually stating matters in the end of the day, as far as like what this means. Like you say, for an example, Big Gate, but like, you had 20,000 fans there, right? Or 25,000 fans, along the line, something along the lines of that, right? And it's like, okay, like what's the gate? It's no different than WWE as far as high ticket prices. Anything having to do with inflation is automatically going to make the ticket prices go up, and that's going to constitute a higher gate. It's just, it's the manipulative WWE bullshit tactics that they like to do, as far as saying that their numbers are a lot bigger than what it really is. But it has nothing to do with the quality of the show in itself. And, you know, granted, I will say quality is going to be based off of the person who's actually saying whatever they want to say. But just in my opinion, I didn't care for the show all too much when it was all said and done. But this leads us into this opener with Hangman Adam Page. And, you know, granted, I will say, they say that the main event, I don't know what they define as main event anymore. I'm going to presume the last match, but you never know. It is wrestling in 2025. Bunch of fucking idiots in the end of the day. The main event is supposedly going to be Hangman Adam Page, Will Hobbs, and Mark Briscoe taking on the Death Riders. And it's like, why is Mark Briscoe in this match when he just got finished having the Casino Gauntlet, right? Doesn't he have problems with MJF? I mean, okay, I get it. You're trying to run an angle with Samoa Joe. That's fine. Not sure where Hook is at, but what happened to Shibata? Or did he just get the time off for Japan or whatever? If that's the case, then why even run a trios match? Or if you're going to run a trios match, why in particular did you have to get involved Mark Briscoe? Again, are you not going to continue to feud with him and MJF? Have they even had a one-on-one match in between the time when they were running all these angles building up into the pay-per-view? Just simple shit like that, you know what I mean? I don't like the structure of the match, but it is what it is. If for nothing else, you know me. It's the World Championship. It involves the World Championship. Okay, cool. I'll take it for what it is, right? Nevertheless, though, Heyman comes in. He gives a rah-rah speech. Very, you know, babyface type of, you guys deserve it. I don't deserve it. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. You guys made sure that this championship means something again. We're now going to make this championship mean something again. You can now see the championship. And then he started going down the lines of all the people who fell to the Death Riders. You know, he talked about Orange Cassidy and Jay White and Bryan Danielson and who else? There's so many people. Will Ospreay. I feel like I'm missing a couple of people. But inevitably, or Edge also he named. Inevitably, he did end up getting to the point where he actually mentioned Swerve Strickland, and he said that he was happy that Swerve Strickland ended up helping him, and he gave a quick little thank you, you know, so that's good. And then he left the ring. Nothing happened, you know, to help build up into the main event outside of the fact that the world champion was there, so that was disappointing. And you know, all we can do is just wait and see what they're going to do in the main event. Hopefully it starts a new program going, you know, forward. I think we still have Blood and Guts coming up soon. Well, what's today's date? The 16th, right? Blood and Guts typically happens in late July. So I'm going to assume something's going to happen in the main event, and we're going to build up to Blood and Guts. I mean, I would think within the next 2 weeks. I mean, it should be happening. Like, traditionally, it happens like around the, you know, late July period. So I don't know. Presumably it's going to happen in 2 weeks. I don't know, but I guess we'll wait and see. But with that being said, we got Kyle Fletcher taking on Mystico, or what was it? Let's say Dorado. Dorado got, I don't fucking care. Mass wrestler number 2, 190 billion. Fuck. Goddamn, can you guys, like, I wish their parents would just, like, drain their ball sacks. Get a vasectomy. Tie your tubes. I don't fucking care. No more mass wrestlers, or I would deport every last one of you. Deport every last one of you to Haiti, even though you're Spanish. Damn it. Oh, wait, no. They're a Dominican Republic. Whatever. Let's just go. Shut up. Because you know it's going to be a bunch of goofy shit going on in this match. Let's just talk around it while it's happening. And if anything special happens after this 8-man tag match with the Young Bucks, then I'll talk about it in the next timestamp. But real quick, Kyle Fletcher, he ended up beating Dorado, whatever the fuck his name is, as if you actually gave a shit. Did you? If anything, I'd probably argue why the fuck did he get so much offense then on Kyle Fletcher when you're trying to build up Kyle Fletcher as your next guy, right? But sure, whatever. We did have the Hurt Syndicate. They did cut a promo. Pretty nice. Pretty much MVP begging for, you know, more contenders to take on Bobby and Shelton. And MJF essentially laying down the groundwork for what at least what I can tell of what I can see, inevitably might end up being him taking on Hangman Adam Page. I'd probably hold off on that. You know, I think, what month are we in? We're in July. I think, you know, there should be a decent run for Hangman Adam Page given all that he went through. Probably wouldn't have him drop it, honestly, till probably Revolution, to be perfectly honest with you. Now, I mean, obviously it's going to depend on how terrible his run is. Hindsight is always going to be 2020, but, you know, given what he had to go through in order to get the championship belt, I think a solid, you know, 7, maybe 6 month run, I think that's in his books. If anything, I say the earliest is definitely, it should definitely be like, you know, maybe Full Gear or something. But, you know, can't really speak upon that without actually seeing his run. But I'm definitely ready for, you know, an actual solid fucking rivalry, not having to deal with those fucking retards, the dick riders. So I'll take anything over that. Fuck, that was some of the most darkest period in AEW history. Probably darker than Kylie Ray when Jericho entered her butthole without her permission. By the way, where the fuck is Jericho? Oh no, I don't know. Probably sitting in a retirement home somewhere. So we had Matt and Nick also, and once again, more of this haha bullshit. I don't even mind the haha bullshit if it's coming, you know, from the actual oppositions in themselves, as long as you can make sure that the heels that are interacting with them, you know, are serious. I mean, you have the Young Bucks walking throughout the arena, being laughed at by everybody backstage, you know, and like, I don't mind the people laughing at them. That's fine. But two things. One, let it just be the faces. I feel like when you let the heels do it, all you do is give them credibility as far as the, you know, wrong reaction. I just don't understand. Like, keep it to strictly just the heels to insinuate the problem as is, right? That's one thing. And also, when it comes to the Young Bucks, like I said, okay, I'll give you an example, right? So they're coming out to the ring and they're looking for promo or porno. What porno? Holy shit. Pyro. You see where my mind's at right now. And they didn't get their pyro, so instead, you know, some goofball backstage, you know, fucking gave them some flashcards on their Titantron, and you see their name bouncing around, and like, you know, like it looks like a first grader just fucking used Adobe Flash for the first time or some shit, right? With some Windows Media Maker or something. It was supposed to be a play on the fact that they don't have their status anymore, so who fucking cares what the hell they want type shit. I get that, but let's put this into context, right? Because you had Justin Roberts, or whoever his name is, the ring announcer, saying no longer the EVPs, Matt and Nick. He emphasized that to make it known that they're no longer Matthew or Nicholas. I remember when Triple H lost, and I know you guys seen this meme for the longest, right? When Triple H got pissed off at Lillian Garcia when she said no longer the World Heavyweight Champion, and he like chased her out of the arena. You know what I mean? It was somewhat goofy, but at the same time, you can see how pissed off Triple H is. If you laughed at Triple H's face backstage, he's going to grab you and throw you through a fucking door. He's going to beat the dog shit out of you for making fun of him. You can still be comedy, but it's like you still have to get your point across. That's why I can't relate to this. That's why I can't care enough for them being heels. Like their entire credibility is completely fucking shot. because they're so goofy. They're so focused on doing the haha, and they're not focusing on the fact that you guys are heels, right? You guys are supposed to give me a reason to not give a fuck about you. I'll put it to you this way: when everybody I need to know the one person who's above the age of 18 who watched the match with the Young Bucks versus Swerve and Ospreay and said to themselves their main reason for watching this was because they wanted to see the Young Bucks lose. You know what I mean? Not even go away heat lose, but like, we wanted to see the Young Bucks lose. That wasn't the case, right? Most people just said to themselves, we want to see a really good match. It's the art of being a good heel nowadays is so fucking dead. It's unbelievable. Like, it's so unbelievable. But then at the same time, people ask themselves, oh, why don't we have good baby faces anymore? Why do the baby faces constantly get booed and shit? Because you don't have any good fucking heels, because every heel wants to get their shit over. I mean, look at them right now in the ring, giving multiple super kicks and shit like that. Like, you guys suck as heels, man. Same thing could be said about an MJF. Yes, he probably does it better than most. At the very least, he tries to keep some semblance of the character, but there's more of the ha-ha stuff. And there's more of the, I'm so good as a fucking heel that I overshadow the babyface. And this is what look at the Young Bucks. They're flying around the ring. These are goofies, dude. These are goofies. The more and more I see them, the more and more I get irritated seeing this stupid shit, man. No one in wrestling even fucking tries anymore to play a character. No one in wrestling anymore even attempts to even remotely hone down their craft as far as what they're trying to get across. It's like everybody so badly wants to do babyface moves, but at the same time, you know, they want to be perceived to do the cool heel things, because it's like you want to be a heel when it comes to your character and promos, but you want to be a babyface when it comes to wrestling. And it just throws off the dynamic each and every fucking time. No one is as aggressive as heels back in the days. No one is as, you know, like vitriolic as the heels nowadays. It's just lame, bruh. It's just lame, and it translates to the product every single fucking time. But like I said, we have this tag team match going on right now that I really don't give a fuck about. Unless something happens towards the end, I'm just gonna skip over it. Hope you guys don't mind. Do you mind? I know you don't. Okay, I can't be the only one. Are you guys, please, are you guys like, have you had it up to here now with all the multi-man matches? Like the gauntlets, the triple threats, the four-ways, the battle royals, all that shit. Tag team matches are a completely different element, but even then, the 8-man tag matches, the 3-man tag matches, even then I can kind of maybe justify 3-man because it's trios. But like, fuck, the multi-man matches in particular, I'm so fucking done, bro. Like, help me out here. Unless my brain just been Benoit or something, like, how many one-on-one matches did they have tonight? Was it really just Kyle Fletcher versus I don't know, fucking Penta or some shit? Like, what the fuck? And I understand the purpose. I understand the reasoning. You know, because you dumb fucks hire so many goddamn wrestlers and you have to justify how much money you paid them because you climaxed at the moment when you signed them to a fucking contract. Like, I get it, but there's got to be more than just this, man. I don't even want to watch this fucking match, and nor am I going to watch this fucking match. What I am going to do, though, is go back a little tiny bit, okay? We're going to go back just a touch, okay? We had this promo from Edge, right? Actually, let me say that for last also, because Mark Briscoe also cut a pretty decent promo backstage also. Self-promo, at least he was, you know, aware enough to talk about the whole MJF stuff, right? Like, I get it. In the end of the day, MJF, he has, or the Death Riders, they have history with Mark Briscoe. I get it. I understand. I just don't understand why he's currently in a feud with MJF, and yet they put him in this match with the Death Riders. I get the history, but maybe you want to like continue establishing that feud, considering they have yet to have a one-on-one match yet. You know what I'm saying? But he did touch on MJF, and he talked about how, you know, he invoked his brother's name and at the pay-per-view because he didn't get done what he wanted to get done, which was beat the fuck out of MJF and get a contract, get that number one contender contract. He felt like MJF ended up invoking his brother's spirit. and he got very intense as the promo started going more on and on and on. And I liked it. I liked it a lot. You know, typically you see Mark Briscoe, and he has the words. Mark Briscoe can always cut a hell of a promo when he wants to. I just never feel the aggression behind his promos. It always feels a little bit like lackadaisical. The action in itself feels like, you know, he's not taking anything seriously. But look at this. Look at Alicia Fox or Queen Amanana, Queen Onomatopoeia, whatever her name is. Like, holy shit, just blatantly. I'm gonna take what Stephanie Vakir did and just completely swap it around and do it myself. Fucking hell, I'm gonna make it my own version. Jesus Christ, man. But yeah, I like the promo, but you know, I'm happy that he did a lot more of this promo compared to his previous promos. And speaking of promos, like I said, Edge comes out. He explains the dynamic between what happened on Sunday regarding Christian, and explaining how he never came out to help Christian. He doesn't give a fuck about Christian. He only did it just to get his hands on FTR. And he was saying, hey, why the fuck would I help Christian after all the shit he put me through? Dude completely fucked me over. Dude talked about wanting to take care of my kids after injuring me. He fucked me over in world title matches. Like, he just absolutely fucking sucks. Why the fuck would I save him? And on top of that, I told him, and quite frankly, I don't even blame the patriarchy for turning on him after all the shit he put them through. I told him that they were going to turn on him eventually. So, you know, it is what it is. Fuck Christian, right? I want FTR, and I like this promo a lot too. The fact that he was emphasizing on the Christian stuff was already strong enough, but then he started to, you know, really cook with the FTR stuff just as well also, when he started saying, hey, I've been doing this for 33 years, and you took me out at the latter stages of my career for 4 months. I ain't got 4 months, and you took that away from me. So I don't want anything. You know, I don't even want to screw you guys out of the tag team titles. I just want to fucking end you. And I thought it was a very solid promo. And out you had Stokely Hathaway come out with some security guards, laying Edge pretty much reading Edge the riot act. When it was all said and done, he inevitably told him, hey, you can never get your hands on FTR with all the Spike Bat shit and all that other nonsense. There were a lot of emails being sent to the, you know, people in TBS or Turner Broadcasting or Tony Khan, and essentially they were telling Edge, because of all that backlash, that if he fucks up one more time, he's gonna get fired. A part of that fuck up is if he actually puts his hands on FTR, he can get fired. And he's letting Edge know that, like, he's not gonna do a goddamn thing to FTR unless he wants to get fired. Edge flipped it back around and he was like, okay, you're saying all this stuff about FTR, but you didn't involve your name, so you're not involved. And Stokely was like, oh fuck. Edge ended up beating up the security guards that was in the ring, the other security guards that were outside the ring. There's a barrier. Bear with me, I'm not yawning at this promo. I actually like this a lot. Been up all fucking day. He ended up spearing Stokely Hathaway and ending the promo by getting in his face to a prone Stokely Hathaway saying, I'm going to end every single last one of you. Again, I thought it was a pretty solid promo. Kind of boring, I will say that, to a lesser degree. As far as the action after the promo, would have been a lot better if something would have happened a little bit more established. But, you know, as far as the rhetoric is concerned, or what Edge was trying to get across, I thought he did a fantastic job. Stokely played his role correctly, and, you know, all's well that ends well, right? Not the best promo in the world, but two things happen. One, they deliver something pretty damn, you know, structured, and it gives you reasoning to want to watch FTR in the future when inevitably Edge gets his hands on him, maybe along with Christian. And two, Stokely Hathaway went an entire promo without mentioning black people. I know, fucking crazy, right? He went an entire promo without going, my people, and my reparations, and Al Sharpton, and Maxine Waters, and we were kings and shit. Like, good, finally. Holy shit, that's a record for you, bro. All right, how long? What? It's 9:24. All right, hurry up, get this fucking show over with. I'm already bored as fuck. Continuing on. Holy fuck, tonight's show is just not hitting at all. What a boring ass show tonight. Like, I like that they're actually progressing stuff to a lesser degree, but it's like their progression as far as what they're trying to establish is just not hitting right. This is a boring ass show tonight. Very, 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 very boring. We did have Toni Storm talk. She, it was funny about Toni Storm. Was I the only one? Like, she was just, rambling off of her sexual innuendos, right? And then it got to a point. Am I the only one right before Ember Moon and Billy Starks, they popped up on the Titantron? Why do I feel like, I can't prove this, but it feels like Toni Storm was stalling for time. Like whoever was in the production truck missed their cue to, put the video on screen, because she was kind of like constantly silent at certain points, like right before the two girls popped up on the Titantron. It felt like she forgot her words, or maybe she didn't have any more words to say, and they were supposed to interrupt her in the middle of her promo or something. That's what it felt like to me, at least. But nevertheless, though, Ember Moon and fucking false allegation Starks, they pop up on the Titantron, right? And for people who don't watch, I always have to say this because there are some new people who watch the channel. No, Billy Starks did not fucking false allege anything on anybody. Just look at her, purple hair. She looks, she walks, she talks like a quintessential Minecraft YouTuber. Accusations, Corey Kenshin, motherfucking biatch. You talked to me in the DMs. You said to me, freshly 18, when you were 20, that you wanted to hold my hand. You said you wanted to hold my hand in Minecraft. Therefore, sexual accusation, sexual rape, everything, rape, misogyny. I feel my brain. I'm brain dead. I'm brain broken. She just gives me those kind of vibes. Okay, she gives me those vibes. I'm sorry. I don't know what you want me to tell you. But nevertheless, though, Ember Moon and false allegation Starks, they didn't really say much. Nothing that was really of importance besides the fact that, they're still doing this cringy look. And I get it. I completely forgot about this whole entire concept. When I seen the contracts, I just automatically assume it's a number one contender shot at any given point in time. I forgot they used those contracts in a very similar manner as to how WWE does their Money in the Bank contracts. I forgot about that shit. That is so fucking cringe. Every time I see it, it's so fucking cringe. Just because it's so blatant. And the fucking like robbing of, stealing. I'm even surprised. Like, maybe I'm the one looking at this wrong. I don't know. I feel like that's like gotta have something to do. Nah, it might not have anything to do with intellectual property, right? That'd be no different stealing, a steel cage and saying, steel cages are a rip-off of WWE. I guess technically it wouldn't be anything stealing. But man, it's just so fucking cringe. Why would you just blatantly do the Money in the Bank concept knowing that WWE has, it's just weird. Same thing to MJF also. AEW is so cringe with that shit. But Ember Moon essentially said that when she least expected, she was going to cash in on her. And then Toni Storm rattled off some more sexual innuendos, and I didn't really give a shit. Then we get to the patriarchy stuff backstage with Nick Wayne and the other guy who I can't think of his name right now, nor does he fucking matter. He looks like a simp. He looks like a gimp. He looks like a wimp, whatever you want to call him. But you know what's looking good also? I personally love all 5 of those guys in the patriarchy. I love all 5 of them. I love Christian. I love Simp Wimp Gimp. I love his mom. And I love his mom. And I love his mom. Like, just, what a great stable. I wasn't even really so much paying attention to what Nick Wayne was talking about. I was paying attention to his mom. And underneath his mom. And the one right next to his mom. He's a very lucky man. He's a very lucky man to have 3 moms. 3 moms. They're just, what a lucky man. What a nice 5-piece stable that they have there in the patriarchy. And then we had Okada taking on some jobber. Beat him. Quick succession, as it should be. Don't fucking let this go any longer than it has to. Get this shit in, get this shit out, which is what they did, and I'm happy about that. And then for some random reason, I guess it's not random because, you know, he is friends with the Young Bucks. But I mean, like, he was saying, I don't know, I found it's not random in the sense that it doesn't have any connection, but it's random in the sense, like, where the fuck did this come from? It felt kind of lazy as far as how they did it. I feel like they could have built this up or something, but they didn't. You know, you just had Okada just call Swerve Strickland out on his name, called him a bitch. Swerve came out, confronted Okada. Because he was just saying, like, you got my friend's EVP's title taken away. And then when Swerve got in the ring, he was like, yeah, I did. What are you going to do about it, bitch? And then Okada left the ring, of course. Heel, face, dynamics. You already know how it goes. So I guess that's what it's going to be, right? Swerve Strickland getting ready to take on the newly crowned unified Intercontinental champion. I still don't know what the fuck they're calling that championship belt. Is it really just a unified championship belt? I'm not sure. But I can get down with the match in itself. I can get down with the feud. It's just random. It's just really, really fucking random. You know, I wish they would have done a lot better to establish it, but it is what it is. But like I said, very boring show tonight so far. We still have the main event that's about to start right now with the the deaf fighters, the dick riders, the something riders. What are their names? I forgot. They're irrelevant as fuck. Watch someone not get the joke. Goes right over their fucking heads. We got them taking on Hangman, Big Meat Ross. Ooh, Big Meat Hoss. Ooh, Big Meat Hawk. No Diddy at all. Promise. Sorry. No. Pause. Extreme pause. Will Hobbs and Mark Briscoe. So let's get to that and let's get this boring ass show out the way. So that's it. So, like, are we, like, now distancing ourselves from this entire joke of I feel like this is just my conclusion, especially after seeing this main event. I can't feel like all our time has just been wasted with this whole Dick Rider shit, right? Like, it's already bad enough that, like, we spent so much time having to endure this absolute god-awful bullshit-ass storyline. And now, seeing as definitive as it was to see Hangman pin another member of the Dick Riders, right? And now to see that they're now starting to pivot towards Darby Allin. What's really the payoff, necessarily speaking, outside of the fact, like, are you not, and trust me, I do not want them to run it back. I'm just trying to use some wrestling fan logic here, right? Like, again, Triple H as another reference, one more time. When Triple H beat Batista, or lost his World Heavyweight Championship to Batista, right? They ran it again at Backlash to fully establish Batista as the World Heavyweight Champion, right? There, it wasn't a fluke, it wasn't this, it wasn't that. And then they definitively made sure they put Batista over when they had him and Triple H go at it in the Hell in a Cell match at Vengeance in 05. But more importantly, building up to those matches, it was furthering the angle of establishing that Triple H was pissed off that he's no longer World Heavyweight Champion. I feel like now they're starting to pivot to Darby Allin. If you were a good booker, you know, it's funny. I heard Tony Khan mention this earlier in one of his cringe ass interviews, right? Talking about he dead ass put this on par with Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 3. Again, when you say deliberate stupid shit like this, bro, this is why no one takes you guys seriously. Your entire fucking universe, the way you guys think within the AEW sicko universe, the way how you just project all of these unwarranted notions in order to make yourselves look bigger or seem bigger or feel bigger than what you really are, is why you fuckers get clowned all the time. You sucked so hard. The Dick Rider storyline sucked so hard. You don't even have the cojones. You don't even have the balls to run back an angle with them surrounding the World Championship like any wrestling company worth its salt would do if they had their champion going for a long reign. Hell, even JBL, who was not the main champion at the time, it was absolutely Triple H. Even JBL losing the World Championship to John Cena at WrestleMania ran it back in one of the better matches that I've ever seen in that company's history at Judgment Day in the I Quit match. Even he ran it back. You guys don't have the convictions to even want to touch this story again because you know it was dog shit. You don't have the convictions to want to even insinuate that Jon Moxley is going to have anything to do with that world champion because you know it's dog shit. So pray tell to me, after so much dog shit, and this is not me saying it, it's you guys saying it by not wanting to run it back. Pray tell to me how you can even remotely consider yourselves on par with Andre and Hogan in regards to storytelling when your storyline was so fucking bad, you're trying your best to pivot away from it to the extent that I doubt Jon Moxley even gets a world championship rematch unless it might end up being a triple threat match. But outside of that, it looks like he's going directly to Darby Allin. It looks like the Death Rider, the whole stable is completely pivoting to Darby Allin. And they further cemented that by having Hangman beat Cesaro tonight. And I'm only feeling a little bit more antsy. I'm feeling a little bit more, tested, a little bit frustrated right now. Because again, you guys knew how bullshit that storyline was. And for me, all the constant conversations happening around Mercedes Moné and Sasha Banks, whatever you want to fucking call her as nowadays, all the conversations around creative control, this, power, that, what is she doing here, there, that, there, and there. You understand in the end of the day, the conversation about Sasha Banks, it's not so much about her, but it pivots to all the big time stars within AEW, or hell, even the stars overall. It pivots to them and it makes me ask, what is the creative input in regards to the superstars revolving around your main story, Tony? You knew the storyline was dog shit the entire time. You did. Again, that's why you're pivoting so hard to get away from the storyline. You knew it was dog shit. You recognized it was dog shit, but you were too committed to just end it just like that. So pray tell to me, who was the main person? Who was the main one putting forth the ideas to the Dick Riders when they became this insufferable? Because I need to know. And it's not looking good either way. Was it you to give all these terrible fucking ideas? Because if so, what the fuck? Take your ass back to the financial sides of everything and stay get a creative needs to get a restraining order on your ass if that was you coming up with these ideas. Or was it your wrestlers having to deal with the creative input? Because if so, what does that have to... that is the perfect example, and that's why people worry so hard when we hear things about Sasha Banks and creative this and influence that, power this. Because the wrestlers are the biggest marks of all time. Don't let them tell you that you're the biggest mark. No, they are the biggest marks of all time. And they think that the shit that they put forward, because they happen to be in the business and we're outside looking inside, automatically makes their point seem a lot more valuable, no matter how dog shit it happens to be. Was it Jon Moxley himself? No, we all know it was most likely Jon Moxley to put this shit forward. But that's the concern surrounding around the influence in regards to the power and the creative control nonsense that everybody is currently talking about right now. That is the fear. You do understand this, right? It's just crazy to me. It's crazy to me. It's like they outwardly are just admitting right now we need to get far and far and far away from the storyline, never to even remotely come back again and revisit the whole taking the World Heavyweight Championship pause. This was dog shit. This was all dog shit. And it makes me speculate a little bit more deeper as to what's going to happen in the future with Hangman's reign. You claim him to be the main character, right? That's the tagline they're getting him nowadays. That's the euphemistic language that they're using nowadays in order to call him his top star. He's the main character, but how deep does that main character stuff drive within that company? Because he cut a promo earlier tonight and he closed out the show, but nothing really built to the main event. Mr. Main Character, what is that? What is that? Same old shit. Same old fucking dog shit. But every fucking pay-per-view, it's a new era. Listen to the AEW fans. Everything is fucking the best of all time. This, the best of all time. I'm done buying into that rhetoric, bro. I'm done buying into that propaganda nonsense. I'm done hearing the motherfuckers say to me, Devontae, judge this match 5 stars, or you're overjudging that match, or you're making your excuses to be negative. When you know the end result in the end of the day is them using this match and claiming it to be insanely good as a way to overcompensate for their lack of storytelling and developing feuds that even remotely call for this match to even be in the shape that it's in right now. It's overcompensating, and to be quite frank, all it is in the end of the day is making up for the mistakes that they know that they made, that they create for themselves. This all ties in together, generally speaking. The power, influence, creative control argument regarding Sasha Banks, the dumbass, stupid ass promoting of the Dick Rider story, and you were too committed to pull out from this shit. The main character stuff, all of it ties in together, and that's what jades me as we go closer into the future of AEW. As we move forward and progress, nothing ever changes. It's nothing more than a different shade of flavor for the exact same type of fucking meal. Which inevitably is going to do the exact same thing, which is make me shit out diarrhea. Fucking long ass show for all this bullshit. Didn't even necessitate an overrun, but yet we had a fucking overrun. Get the fuck out of here. The show sucked as per usual. Nothing made any sense to me for the most part outside of the actual progression of the story. Everything felt like it was random as fuck and just put there for the sake of being put there just so they can have something new to do, but no semblance of structure at all as to the reasoning. But sure, go ahead, make excuses for it because great matches, right guys? Yeah, fucking right. As always, my name is Devontae, aka Millennial Smart, and I'll be catching you guys later. Deuces, P, Ice.